He was like, nigga, I'll buy every house on your block. Shut every light off on that bitch, and when you come out, every time you come out, that bitch will get popped. So when another nigga tell you some shit like that, you like, get your animated ass out of here, goofy ass. You feel what I'm saying? When he tell you like that, you go to picture him purchasing every house. You go to picturing every light on the block going on. And that silenced me. And for you to make that, people ask why I left the band. Like, that's why I left the band. Like, that's why I didn't do Dave Chappelle.
Y'all can't even listen to direction. Y'all can't even do y'all don't want to do. So you think that you gonna be in the music industry and be doing everything you want to do? You gonna get up when you want to get up, work as many hours? No, you gonna have to do a bunch of you don't want to do. I'm proud to, sign y'all to the Bad Boy family. You ain't signing your life away, but you are signing into a contract. But it's like a marriage, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you want to do this. Make sure you have read the fine print.
It's really high time we dive deep into the dark underbelly of Diddy's MTV show, Making the Band, because what seemed like harmless reality TV was actually a twisted playground for Diddy to torment unsuspecting young talents. All these poor young people did was buy into Diddy's promises and lies only to be met with humiliation and trauma. The good news is that former contestants from Making the Band are finally breaking their silence and speaking out against the horrors they endured. And one of the latest to step into the spotlight is Freddie P., a former member of Da Band. In a recent interview, Freddie dropped some major bombshells about his time on Making the Band, revealing that he actually left the group because Diddy threatened his life. But this isn't the first time we've heard whispers about Diddy traumatizing young artists on his infamous reality show. Aubrey O'Day, another Making the Band alum and former member of girl group Danity Kane, has been shouting it from the rooftops for years and waving red flags about Diddy not being who he pretends to be. In fact, a whole year before Cassie brought her lawsuit to the table, Aubrey was already spilling the tea about how Diddy made some inappropriate advances toward her during her time on the Making the Band. And when she had the guts to turn him down, Diddy allegedly put her through emotional torture and public humiliation before kicking her to the curb.
And that was very traumatic. I don't think any of us have healed from that. Diddy would be like, you're not hot anymore. Like, what happened? You don't have anything, like, you don't have any curves. You're looking like you're not looking like, I can't get people to think that you're my good looking person.
Aubrey also didn't hold back when Diddy made that big announcement last year about giving his artists back their publishing rights. She saw right through his smoke and mirrors, calling it out for what it really was, a manipulation tactic. Turns out, in order to reclaim their rights, artists had to sign an NDA, promising never to utter a bad word about Diddy, his family, or his associates in public. But wait, it gets darker. Diddy's former bodyguard, Gene Deal, pulled back the curtain even further, revealing a downright diabolical plan involving Danity Kane. According to Gene, Diddy had this sick plan to get the Danity Kane girls hooked on substances and then sell them off to his industry friends.
He said, I'm going to drug them out. I'm going to get them all on drugs. And I'm going to pimp their ass out to my...
And if that wasn't enough to make your jaw hit the floor, Freddie P just dropped a bombshell of his own and revealed that Diddy actually threatened his life. Honestly, if even a fraction of these allegations is true, Diddy needs to be thrown under jail, not just behind bars. But what exactly did Freddie P spill about his time on Making the Band and led Diddy to make such a chilling threat to this young man? Well, stick around because we're about to break it all down.
To be at your highest peak and have it snatched away from you because you don't want to kiss that. And man, we all black people, man. Black people continue to step on each other and hold each other down. And that go people mental.
All right, let's take a trip down memory lane for those who might need a refresher on MTV's Making the Band. This show was one of the OGs of reality TV, and it had different seasons, each one spotlighting a different music act. The show gave rise to acts such as O-Town, Da Band, Danity Kane, Day 26, and Donnie Klang. And except for the very first season featuring O-Town, all the other seasons of Making the Band were overseen by Diddy himself. Diddy was the one calling the shots, and ultimately deciding who had what it took to make it in the band. It was like musical boot camp, with Diddy playing the role of a drill sergeant, and quite literally too, because he would make these young people do bizarre tasks, which can only be described as humiliation rituals.
When you picking your hair, you know you picking your hair, man. When you sucking your thumb, you know you sucking your thumb. I tried to come talk to y'all. I don't know what else to do, because anything else is going to be an altercation. I'm shutting down the studio.
Diddy would also often make disparaging comments about the young artist's physical appearance, even going as far as mocking some of the girls' weight, but that's just the tip of the iceberg. Apparently, Diddy had some sketchy schemes involving members of the girl group Danity Kane, including Aubrey O'Day. Aubrey's been pointing fingers at Diddy for ages, but it took Cassie filing a lawsuit to make people sit up and take notice of her claims. Back when Making the Band with Danity Kane originally aired, Aubrey was always portrayed as the troublemaker on the show. However, she's now saying there's more to the story and alleging that Diddy made unwanted advances, and when she shut him down, he gave her the boot. But see, according to Diddy's bodyguard Gene Deal, Diddy wasn't making advances on Aubrey because he was interested in her romantically. Instead, according to Gene, Diddy had a twisted plan to push Aubrey into those freak-off sessions with his industry friends. Now remember when Diddy made that big announcement last year about giving back publishing rights to some of his former bad boy artists? His PR team spun it as this generous act of kindness, and Diddy went on an interview spree, claiming he just wanted to do the right thing and show appreciation to all those artists who made Bad Boy successful.
It was the right thing to do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It was the right thing to do, and it's the frequency that I'm in. It's the love frequency.
But in hindsight, if you look at the timeline, it's pretty clear why Diddy suddenly decided to give Bad Boy artists their publishing back. See, this announcement came in September 2023, just a few weeks before Cassie dropped her explosive lawsuit, which has now snowballed into a full-blown criminal investigation against Diddy. So obviously Diddy knew that lawsuit was about to make the news, so he scrambled to quickly silence all potential witnesses and block other alleged victims from coming forward. Meanwhile, reports started popping up that Diddy made all these artists sign new NDAs, basically banning them from ever talking about their experiences with him or Bad Boy. And that's when Danity Kane member Aubrey O'Day confirmed that she received an NDA that included some outrageous conditions. Of course, Aubrey being Aubrey, she quickly shut down that offer, and instead of signing the NDA, she went on the Only Stands podcast to spill exactly what that NDA said.
And Making the Band is the only cult MTV show that made that network, one of them, that they have never played in one rerun. Not one rerun. So I'd like to know why, and if it has something to do with Diddy, then again, what I'm wondering is when the deal is, when this benevolent man who's just now had a change of heart and has decided to pay us as talent and also as writers, we're credited with publishing. So basically, we only get the amounts due since Sony bought our catalog.
Okay.
So streaming for the past couple years, it's about $800, $900, some in the hundreds, okay? And in order to get that, I have to release him for any claims or wrongdoings or actions prior to the date of the release. I have to sign an NDA that I will never disparage Puff, Bad Boy, Janice Combs, or Justin Combs' music, or EMI, or Sony ever in public.
Aubrey also said she warned other girls from Danity Kane not to sign any documents coming from Diddy, not only because the amount of money they would receive from publishing is nothing to write home about, but also because Aubrey knew Diddy's intentions were not genuine.
And me, as somebody that's a girl's girl, I hit everyone in my group and said, absolutely do not take this deal. I can get us a show on Hulu right now. The stories that we have to tell during a time in music where there were gatekeepers, there were people that owned labels like Puff running things, and the way that the divisions and the divisiveness occurred, and the things that we experienced between each other and us against the system are insane.
But let's get into all the wild stuff Aubrey and the rest of the group went through while filming Making the Band. Now, if you're a little too young to remember the early 2000s celebrity culture, you would be shocked to know what kind of stuff was normalized back then. Diddy would routinely tear the girls down, mock them, and instigate fights between them. He also often made cruel comments about their physical appearance, and this was all part of the show, so just imagine how he acted when the cameras were off.
Andrea, you look pleasantly plump here. When in person, you don't really look like this. So I don't know if it's the way the picture was taken.
I think it's the drastic kind.
But also your hair, some of the hairstyles that I've seen, you look overly glamorous, like where it's just a lot of hair. It's a lot of fake hair, a lot of fake eyelashes, a lot of makeup. And we'll get to you in a second with that, Aubrey. But our drastic makeover is you, Aubrey. the reason why I wanted you to be in the group was because you have this natural hometown girl type of vibe, you know, and I've seen more hair on you than even, like, I didn't even know they sold this much hair. That's my feelings or thoughts on it. You have anything to say there on it?
Check out how Diddy made D Woods cry by commenting on her weight in front of everybody and telling her she was a burger away from being overweight.
Juanita, what's your stomach looking like? For real, are you feeling a little thick?
It's no secret, I'm built differently than these other girls. And if he didn't see that before, he really sees it now because it's 1 against 4. I'm a thick girl on the bottom. I'm working out, I'm running. I always feel thick next to these skinny chicks.
You're like a burger away.
D, Woods, you okay? This is not a new struggle for me. This has been a lifelong thing. It's genetics.
But here's the deal.
Now, what's crazy is that back then, a lot of people praised Diddy for being real and telling the girls the harsh truth about what they needed to fix to make it in the cutthroat music business. However, now that Diddy is actually being investigated by Homeland Security over trafficking allegations, those old clips from Making the Band are taking on a seriously eerie vibe. But believe it or not, it gets worse. According to Aubrey O'Day, the reason she was portrayed as the spoiled, problematic one on the show is because she turned down Diddy's inappropriate advances and she wouldn't let him intimidate her. Mind you, when Making the Band with Danity Kane was filmed, Aubrey was just 20 years old, while Diddy was 14 years her senior. So back in December 2022, almost a full year before Cassie came forward with her story, Aubrey spilled some major beans on the Call Her Daddy podcast and said Diddy gave her the boot from Danity Kane because she wasn't willing to do what was expected of her.
Why somebody would want to fire somebody.
Can you give us a little?
I wasn't willing to do what was expected of me. Not talent-wise, but in other areas.
And were other girls doing?
I was the only one that was in those types of positions.
But Aubrey was never one to play with. Even back then, as a young and inexperienced artist, she didn't let Diddy intimidate her, and she openly challenged him in front of the cameras.
You want to show all your skin, you want to be naked, but the whole concept of Danity Kane was like, when it comes together, it's one.
Puff's going hard on the group, and then all of a sudden he singles me out and starts going on and on about how unhappy he is with me, and I just feel like nothing that I do, he's ever happy with.
Can I ask a question? What do you want to look like, though? Do you want to look like a playboy, playmate? Do you want to look like you?
I'm done with all of that.
No. What do you want to look like, though? You like big hair, though.
I don't like big hair.
Like big hair. You like big hair. You like a lot of makeup and all that.
Actually, I don't. I don't like big hair. I don't like certain makeup. I'm very flexible with what you want to do, and I've worked with everything that you've thrown at me.
I'm not seeing the flexibility. You gaming me.
Your hair people came in today, and they said this is how it needs to be.
But wait, it gets even more twisted. Diddy's longtime bodyguard, Gene Deal, recently revealed that Diddy had some seriously sinister plans for Danity Kane members. According to Gene, Diddy allegedly wanted to get the girls hooked on substances and then sell them off to other men in the industry at those rumored FO parties.
But there's some artists that didn't say anything, that didn't sign it.
People are now starting to wonder if Diddy has been involved in trafficking for way longer than we ever imagined, and maybe the members of Danity Kane narrowly dodged a seriously dark fate. What's also insane is how Diddy felt so comfortable openly discussing these twisted schemes in front of other people. Well, rumor has it that the reason Diddy felt untouchable was because he was protected by his puppet masters. We're talking about individuals who are not only more influential than Diddy, but probably engage in even more sinister crimes behind the scenes. I mean, think about it. The entertainment industry is like a magnet for this kind of stuff, and you don't make it to the top by being a moral and decent person. So it's not entirely out of left field to consider that there might be some seriously shady characters pulling the strings behind the scenes. Of course, that doesn't excuse Diddy's alleged crimes, because at the end of the day, he made the choice to do those messed up things. But let's go back to Making the Band. See, Diddy was always looking for new ways to intimidate and humiliate the young people on his show who were tricked into thinking that Diddy was actually interested in helping them jumpstart their music music careers. Diddy was particularly cruel and unhinged during the second installment of Making the Band, which centered around the musical group Da Band. And now Freddie P, one of the former members of Da Band, is finally spilling the tea on just how cruel Diddy could get. So to give you some context first, Da Band, also known as Bad Boys Da Band, was a hip-hop group put together by Diddy in 2002 and briefly signed to his label, Bad Boy Entertainment. The group consisted of 2 girls and 4 boys: Sarah Stokes, Lenise Babs, Wiley, Dylan Delinja, Rodney Chopper, Hill, Lloyd Ness Mathis, and Frederick Freddie P. Watson. Their whole journey was captured on camera for 3 seasons of Making the Band 2, and for a good few weeks, Diddy would mentally torture and humiliate these young people with all sorts of crazy tasks. And one of the most memorable and disturbing ones was when Diddy forced the group to trek all the way from Midtown Manhattan to Brooklyn just to grab a cheesecake from the original Junior's Cheesecake location.
All right, that's good.
I was expecting to get here and go straight to work, get straight in the studio, working with Puff.
What y'all did yesterday?
Stayed in the room.
Y'all need to see New York. You ain't really get to see the city, really.
You need that vehicle.
Yeah, I told you it's gonna be rough this weekend. I want. You get a vehicle home, possibly. You could possibly, I'm starving too. You know something? I want me a piece of cheesecake. Yeah, and y'all can walk from here, get the cheesecake, see the city, enjoy the sights, would you? Show them around. Word is on it. My cheesecake is in the least bit soft or brittle or not on point, your will go back. Somebody's mental capacity breaks at a certain point. I need to see it now. I want to see it when I'm 2 million in. There's things in life that ain't gonna be fair, and this is one of them. Get your faces right.
This episode was later famously turned into a skit on The Chappelle Show, which featured Dave Chappelle as both Diddy and Da Band member Dylan.
All right, this is what's up. You can live here, you can record here, you can be bad boy artists here, but if you want to do it, first y'all gotta walk to Queens and get me a sugar cookie.
Sugar cookie, man. This is crazy.
Bad boy. I want you to turn daddy out of hit, but I need you to be a family unit and love each other. This will never work. Go out there and get daddy a hit. I'm gonna take a nap.
And while Dave Chappelle's skit was undeniably hilarious, the real incident was nothing to laugh about. All 6 members of Da Band were forced to walk downtown from Manhattan and across the Brooklyn Bridge while rapping the lyrics to Biggie Smalls' song Juicy, and you could tell how absolutely humiliated they felt.
See me on TV, some punk ass bitch, yo. It's crazy. If I walk to Brooklyn, I'm going home. That's where the I live, y'all. I'm not walking to Brooklyn. It's crazy.
Yo, it's called making the not making the band. I said we go back and tell him we ain't doing it.
Got too more respect for him to do that.
This is slave labor right here, man.
It is, but hey.
That's some son Yo, go to the store, walk to Brooklyn, and buy me the cheesecake.
Y'all getting a little too sensitive right now. I think y'all, to be honest, I think y'all feeling yourself a little bit too much. Y'all just look at the show. Y'all had a whole different, hungrier approach. Y'all cats was like, we would do anything to get what we got to get. You know what I'm saying? Now it's a 3-hour walk. Now it's changed a little bit.
I would walk.
Like I
You
see
Somali,
them
baby.
them on the ground, I gotta snatch that bite the dirt with it. That's crazy.
And I'm not just saying it to be like, oh, I'm serious, it's so great. She walked, you know, but that's how much I'm like, you know, if it's gonna send us home, I don't want to go home.
It ain't no, check this out, it ain't no more discussion. Stick with your group, it's all good, I appreciate that. Y'all gotta find a deal somewhere else.
Come on!
It's that simple. It's that simple. This ain't gonna be easy. This right here is the way I run my.
The group tried to stand up for themselves, and they actually went back to confront Diddy and tell him they weren't feeling this hazing ritual. However, Diddy told them straight up that they would either do what he told them or they could pack their bags and go home, essentially threatening to put a stop to their dreams of becoming recording artists.
Oh, hey, what's poppin'? What's going on?
We want to talk to you for a minute, like on the real.
Yeah, ain't even on the real. I mean, if y'all don't want to go, y'all go home. Y'all go home right now. Whoever don't want to go home.
I mean, none of us really want to go.
Okay, y'all go home.
That's what's
Y'all all go home.
That's what's up. Respect.
All right.
Respect that.
Y'all gotta do what y'all gotta do. All right. It ain't no, check this out. It ain't no more discussion. Stick with your group. It's all good. I appreciate that. Y'all gotta find a deal somewhere else.
Come on!
It's that simple. It's that simple. This ain't gonna be easy. This right here is the way I run my. I'm gonna be up in here making hits. I'm here. Ain't gonna stop. This y'all decision on your lives. If y'all bucking on this little right here, I definitely don't want to with y'all.
Niggas want this man, but we was just on the tip like you was trying to put us out there like a bitch or something, like make us walk all the way to Brooklyn, like, you know what I'm saying?
I don't really care however you took it or whatever went through your mind. It was a mission that had to be done. All this psychological, that's ego. So the ego's in your way. So the ego made the decision. Do your thing, man. Don't sit here and be talking about it, man. Be fly about it. Get your swag on, walk that way. Your is that way, do it. If you want to think about it, or if you ain't gonna walk that way, walk to Brooklyn and be happy about it.
Now, Diddy tried to justify his insane behavior by claiming he was just trying to prepare the group for the harsh reality of the music business. However, it was clear as day that the whole thing was about Diddy's power trip, and you could literally see it on his face that he took pleasure in having the ability to make these young people do humiliating stuff.
It's not about me trying to do a mean-spirited initiation, hazing act to them. It's a bigger picture to it. In the world of music, I gotta get up every day and do a bunch of that I don't wanna do. I gotta bite my tongue and I gotta do it with a smile on my face. But I do want some cheesecake.
Oh, and by the way, when the group walked back to the Bad Boy headquarters with the cheesecake, they discovered that Diddy had already left, which tells you he just wanted to humiliate them. Now, as for Freddie P, he was immediately uncomfortable with Diddy's idea, and he correctly predicted that sooner or later he and Diddy would butt heads.
Take your time, enjoy it, and you ain't really got nothing else to do. Fred, you all right? Fred, yeah, you all right? Fred, I'm good.
This dude must be crazy. Sooner or later, we gonna clash.
Fast forward to now, and Freddie P just dropped some seriously shocking claims about his time on Making the Band, revealing that he left the group after Diddy threatened his life. Freddie recently had a chat with The Art of Dialogue, and he spilled the beans about how he ended up butting heads with Diddy. He kicked things off by saying he's glad that Diddy is finally facing a criminal investigation, and he also shed some light on why it took so long for Diddy's alleged victims to come forward. According to Freddie, Diddy knew how to use his power and influence to manipulate people into doing some seriously degrading stuff. He would apparently give them false hope that if they did just one more thing, they'd reap the benefits of being in his proximity.
But I gotta ask you, speaking of Diddy, how you feel about the situation he going through right now?
It was to me honestly, and this ain't no slight. It's just I like to see people get they just do. Like if he was innocent, I'd be speaking up like leave that man alone because I hate bullies. But if I don't feel like he's guilty, I just feel like, bro, it's there. Like all the people ain't lying, and then you know when a person lie because they when a person lying, they ain't going into detail. Like it's certain things, and people always trying to blame Cassie. Like no, bro, like you ain't never been around a billionaire before, so you can't be around that. You don't know how to judge that situation when somebody like it's kind of like the dude you ever seen the commercial. They hold a daughter, and you like you gotta be quicker than that. They gonna keep dangling the money in your face. You gonna kids like the carrot in front of the rabbit. You see the food, you gonna keep chasing it. And eventually you're gonna feel like, why would I quit and I done got to the 12th grade? Like who gets to the 12th grade and quit school? So if you go through so many levels of embarrassment, you know, whatever you wanna call it, and then you get to where you feel like, I surpassed a lot of stuff. I done did the worst of the worst. You go to feeling like, okay, I wanna be compensated.
As for the deafening silence of Diddy's industry friends, Freddie said they're silent because they knew what Diddy was doing the whole time and they chose to turn a blind eye. Not only that, but according to Freddie, most of Diddy's industry buddies are as bad as him.
People like, why his friends ain't talking? Why? Woo. First of all, everybody know. This we've been talking about this since I was a kid. Everybody know. You know what I'm saying? Ain't no sitting around to be acting like it's brand new right now. That irritates me. Even when I see niggas scared to speak up, and all them niggas freaks. And when you see the ones speak up for them, it's because they got shit to hide. And they know when this shit come around on me, or if this shit come around on me, I'm gonna be looking for alliances. I'm gonna be looking for people to step up for me. You get what I'm saying?
And then Freddie also mentioned he's not surprised to hear all these names being brought up in connection to Diddy, and he claimed he previously clashed with both Diddy and former Bad Boy president Harv Pierre, who both threatened him.
What's crazy to me, man, is some of the names that's popping on. I see Harv. Y'all don't know who Harv Pierre is. I do. This a nigga who like me and this nigga done had real like words to words. Like me and them niggas done went through real, yeah. Like me and nigga Diddy, you know what I'm saying? Nigga Diddy threatened me.
So according to Freddie, Diddy once directly told him he had enough power to have him deleted off the face of the earth. And Freddie knew Diddy meant that literally. It all went down on one of those days when everything seemed to go wrong, and Freddie said he just snapped at Diddy. And before they knew it, things spiraled out of control.
And what's so crazy is, If a nigga threaten you like this, right? You laugh at a nigga like, man, get your funny ass from by me, boy. I'm gonna shoot you in your whoa, whoa, whoa. You know what I'm saying? This nigga threaten you, it hit different. You hear what I'm saying? Like, and I'm a gangster. Like, I done been in real, I done seen it. I ain't gotta talk about him. To tell you, ain't nothing he can show me that I ain't seen. You get what I'm saying? So when he said this to me, it hit a nerve. So I'm in that bitch. I'm just frustrated with a lot of shit that's going on. Anyway, we get in a situation. We in front of everybody. Nick like, he was like, man, money, man, what you think, you bad or something?
According to Freddie, Diddy told him he was powerful enough to buy the entire street he lived on, turn off the electricity, and then set him up to be shot at every time he left his house. Freddie explained that he knew from his time hanging around Diddy that Diddy wasn't joking or making empty threats. According to him, when Diddy threatened he would do something crazy, you just knew he meant it, and that's why Freddie ultimately decided to leave Da Band.
He was like, nigga, I'll buy every house on your block. Shut every light off on that bitch, and when you come out, every time you come out that bitch, you'll get popped. So when another nigga tell you some shit like that, you like, get your animated ass out of here, goofy ass. You feel what I'm saying? When he tell you some shit like that, you go to picture him purchasing every house. You go to picturing every light on the block going on. And that shit silenced me. And for you to make that, people ask why I left the band. Like, that's why I left the band. Like, that's why I didn't do Dave Chappelle. Like, we got into that. My next time I got the chance to go home, cause I had to, you know, you're a gangster, it's like, you know, when you ain't got your gun on, you gotta play it off sometime. So I had to play it off.
Now, Freddie admitted he toyed with the idea of confronting Diddy head on, but in the end, he decided against it. And it's probably a good thing he didn't go through with his plan, because Freddie also said that during that altercation with Diddy, Diddy made it clear he could have him taken out instantly.
I don't even want to talk. It's because I don't know statute of limitations and stuff like that, but I try to get his pussy. You feel what I'm saying? Like, he didn't know he was threatened. I'm pretty sure he know now. You know, he probably done been living in Miami long enough. He know now who he was threatened. He know how I'm rocking. But at that time, you know what I'm saying? He ain't know what my mind state was. I ain't got shit, bro. I ain't come for shit. I will be the one to put you on the news and me. You get what I'm saying? That's how I felt at that time. Like, boy, you threaten me? Like, niggas in the street don't threaten me. I'm going to war with real killers, and they ain't out there like this. You niggas I know standing on business, and you? That's how I felt. Like, oh, I gotta have you. And later on that night, I was trying to take his ass out. You feel me? Like, me and my dog, God rest his soul, we was in like a G-Wagon, and he had his little 2.2s. I had a little pistol on me, whatever. I had the Mac, he had whatever, and he was waiting on his pussy to come out. So my mindset was different. It's dumb right now, and I'm glad I didn't, because I probably would have died or got a prison sentence or some shit like that. But it's just how he had me feeling after the conversation. And then, like, and he said some other shit. He was like, somebody, he was like, what? He was like, Nick, he was like, you could walk out the studio right now, somebody just walk up and pop you.
What's crazy is that most people thought Freddie P was the problematic one back when making the band originally A-Red, the same way they thought Aubrey O'Day was spoiled and disrespectful. But it turns out Freddie was the only one who was bold enough to go against the grain, and he saw right through Diddy's BS. Fans are now really feeling the tragedy of this whole situation, because all these young people put their trust in Diddy, thinking he actually wanted to help them out of their difficult situations. But instead of lifting them up, Diddy ended up tearing them down, crushing their dreams, and leaving them feeling betrayed and traumatized. By the way, a video of Freddie P recently resurfaced on social media where he broke down while talking about how Diddy destroyed Da Bang and snatched away their opportunity for a better life, just because they refused to sell their souls.
To be at your highest peak and have it snatched away from you because you don't want to kiss that. And man, we all black people, man. Black people continue to step on each other and hold each other down, and that people mental. I'm the nigga that'll run in there and blow your loose, bro. I don't give a f***. Do you really want to be in a situation where you make a man that mad, dog?
I feel so bad for these young people that innocently thought Diddy would help them, one fan said. A black man did this to other black people. And another person commented, I'm happy he got Freddie P to say how he's been feeling for years. Every time I heard something about Diddy, I would think of the way he did Freddie P and the band back then. Fans are also praising Freddie P for calling out victim blaming and breaking down how narcissists like Diddy operate. He explained that Cassie's situation perfectly, one fan said. Some people be shaming her and judging her for staying with him for 10 years. trying to say she's not a victim. But ish like that is real tough for real. And someone else added, Fred is the first person on any of these platforms talking about Diddy that described what a cycle of abuse looks like. That 12th grade reference is spot on. But let's hear your thoughts on Freddie P opening up about his time with Diddy. And if you watched Making the Band back in the day, do you remember any other red flag moments from the show that betrayed Diddy's true character? Drop your thoughts in the comments below and make sure you stay tuned for this next video.